What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We are continuing on the C10 project, and guess what? We got the chassis back. I started assembling it. Couldn't help myself. It came back from powder coat. Let me show you guys. But also, title of this video, we're doing the fuel system today, kind of. Basically mounting the tank up, show you guys what we're working with. But let me show you guys the chassis. Oh, baby, man, that is looking sweet. Like I said, fellas, I could not help myself when this thing came back from powder coat. I started assembling the front end there. Don't mind the mess. Got tools everywhere. But yeah, look at this thing. This thing looks so freaking good after it came back from powder coat. Man, this thing looks freaking good. Sandblasted, coated, ready to go. Man, I am excited now. This gives me a little bit of motivation. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when you look at these projects and they're in that, basically stage 1, stage 2, and it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but look at this thing. Man, this thing looks so freaking good. I ended up painting the control arms, fellas, because I didn't want to deal with removing the ball joints because they're like pressed in ball joints. I think the bottom one is, the top one's a screw-on ball joint. Long story short, I didn't want to deal with all that, so we ended up just painting them. And also, we got a little contrast there because that way we can kind of break up the black a little bit. So we went with that kind of like a gray silver kind of look to them. And so we did the rears the same color, but the rears I do not have on yet because I am waiting on the rear end. The rear end's over at the shop, getting redone and everything because we're going with a different gear ratio. But we also ended up welding on these rear brackets because when I went to take the chassis to the powder coat shop, if you guys remember when we first got the truck, it was already kind of C-notched. And so when we did the new kit from TCI, it required the C-notch, but a slightly further back. So there was a lot of material gone, long story short, and we're picking this thing up. It started flexing really bad in that area. So what I ended up doing is I mounted basically this bracket and just the outside one, and then we welded it on and then took the bolts back out so that way it lined up with the inside bracket again, and then obviously sandblasted, coated it and everything else like that with the top bracket on to have that strength on the chassis, because again we kind of lost some of that strength because it was already C-notch, but everything looks good now, no issues whatsoever. So just an extra reinforcement there, not a big deal. But like I said, this chassis is looking good. But today's project is we got the fuel tank in today. This is actually from Tanks Inc. Via my buddies over at PSI. I appreciate you guys. If you guys are looking for parts, they can get you guys. I mean, they carry a lot of different stuff. Of course, Tanks Inc. So we went with the Tanks Inc. tank just because, I don't know if you guys saw the video, but I was asking you guys if I should put the tank on the front or the back, or I should say left or right. And I thought about putting it in the rear, but I really didn't want to put it in the rear because I don't want to cut up the bed of the truck. Not to mention, we're not painting the truck, so this truck's not, it has 2 fuel doors. Obviously, it was a stock truck with the 2 fuel doors, 2 fuel tanks on each side, and that would just leave us with an extra fuel door, or 2 extra fuel doors if we relocated the tank in the back. So then you'd have 2 empty fuel doors. So I didn't want to do that, so we're only going to do a 1 tank setup, and then on the other side, we're going to actually mount the battery, and then we'll do like a battery tender / jump start on that fuel door. So that's kind of what I got planned for the truck as far as the fuel doors go. But let's open this thing up and see what we got with a little YouTube magic, huh? Bam! Check that out, huh? That always works, fellas. It always works. But we got everything we need here for the most part. Now, once again, the reason I went with the Tanks Inc. setup was because it comes with everything. It really does come with everything. We did also opt out for the floatless sending unit. You can do either the one that has the arm, the traditional style that has basically the little arm lever, and I really don't like those. They always fail. It always seems to fail. So we spent a little extra money, and then we got the floatless one sender there. So that I really like those. Obviously, our fuel pump. We went with the Walbro. I want to say it's a 340 liters per minute. That should be plenty for the horsepower we're going to be running. And again, I enjoy the fact that it comes with everything. And this was a big one too. You see the fuel tank straps. We're putting it in the stock location, so I wanted to make sure we had new fuel tank straps because the old ones were pretty clapped up. And this came with that. Obviously, even the filler neck adapter. So that's obviously the only thing that does not come with is the actual filler hose or the filler neck hose that attaches to the bed. So we're just gonna have to get a new one of those. But it comes with all the hardware, obviously your fuel pump module, and it's ready to go. I think this is a good bang for your buck deal right here. And again, it comes with everything. So what we're gonna do is we did already, let me show you. So before I sent these out to powder coat, I made sure we removed the old straps. Now the old straps from factory were riveted on, so we had to drill those out. And I got these brackets obviously powder coated and everything. I already put them on the chassis or on the frame. And so we got to mount these up. And then, so we're probably just going to use a couple bolt and nuts, you know, with a little Loctite. Should be fine instead of trying to find rivets that fit that. But we're going to put those on, mock the tank up in here, and then go from there. Before I put the filler neck on, I want to show you guys a little trick what I do. I don't know if you guys seen the video where I modified my tank, and it was the same thing. It was a tank sink tank on the Chevelle. But if you look down there, check that out. It's this fuel foam that's really meant for racing applications and things like that, and also helps with drivability because you don't want that fuel sloshing around. So what that foam does, they use these in fuel cells, and it keeps basically the fuel from sloshing around when you're driving, cornering and stuff like that. And it always keeps fuel at the pump, so that way the fuel pump lasts longer and it basically doesn't overheat. Because what happens is if it sucks up air or it starts to overheat, or even when you're running low fuel. So what I like to do, like I said, a little trick I do is get some of this padding, or I should say this foam, and stuff it in there, and I kind of got it out through the tank at the back too as well. And you definitely try to avoid the fuel pump pickup area along with the sending unit, because then you can't get that thing bound in there. So watch the video where I actually use that stuff on the tank and kind of walk you through the process. But I'm gonna put this on, and then hopefully we can get to the straps. All right, we got the straps set up. Now, if you guys want to take in consideration when you guys are doing this, like you're doing the side tank mount stuff and you're doing new straps, there's always going to be one strap that's longer than the other. So make sure you put that on the correct side. So in this case, on the passenger side, the one towards the rear of the truck is going to be longer just because the tank is bigger in that area. So always take that in consideration. Not to mention the bolts. If you decide to do bolts instead of rivets, you want to make sure you got something that's obviously low flush mount, because you don't want that head of that screw or bolt protruding into the gas tank. So we went with these low pro kind of button style Allen screws. So that should be good there. We shouldn't have any issues. And you want to have some sort of insulation as well. And if you look on the gas tank, we did that exactly. We added a little insulation down at the bottom, and we'll do the same thing on the top. I'll show you guys here in a sec. So let's throw this up here. Man, it's so much easier when the tank is empty, right? So just like that. But now, if I can find my insulation. So this is the stuff I use. This is actually like basically you can get it on Amazon. It's called Nyko foam. They use it for like different things. I mean, I've used it on firewalls before and stuff like that. So I just cut a little piece out like that. Again, I added some on the other side as well. So that way there's good insulation. The last thing you want to do is have any metal on metal. So let me put this on here first. Let's see here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start on the back side because it definitely makes a little contact there, right around there. The good stuff about this, or the good thing about this, is it's sticky. It's got a sticky backing, so that makes it so much easier and nicer to work with because you don't have to have no crazy glue or any of that. See, it just sticks right on. Easy, baby. Nice and easy. Now this stuff actually might be a little thick in comparison what they had to the factory, but it's all right. It will make it a little more difficult to put those straps on. Hopefully not too much. I'll put this side here. Again, you definitely don't want that tank rubbing on metal, creating any sparks or things like that. So you definitely want to make sure you got insulation or some kind of rubber or gasket or something in between there. But now you can see just like that, bam, that'll land just like that. Let's see if we can. The crappy part is that these things are so new, so we're probably going to have to try to stretch them out a little bit. That's going to be always the hard part, is getting those straps back on tight. So we can kind of start this nut. Crappy part about this, I noticed they painted this, or hopefully it's not powder coat. It's not too thick. Oh yeah, this one's going to be a little harder than the last one. Of course, right? Solid right there, baby. Oh yeah, I like it. Looks good. Everything's tightened down. Now, I don't know, for whatever reason, GM, that access hole, it's only big enough for the bolt to go through, but not to put a socket on it. But this side is a lot bigger, and you can actually put a socket on it to tighten it down. So that's why we had to do that one by just a good old wrench. But everything's looking good for the most part. Obviously, we still got to plumb everything. We're going to definitely do that later on down the line once we got the cab back on, motor in and all that, so we know where we got to run our stuff at. But I'm digging it, fellas. Looks good. Came out really good. Like I said, big fan of the Tanks Inc. tanks. Perfect for a good, resto mod. If you are going to be doing anything performance, definitely probably not the way to do it. Fuel cell for sure is always best, but this one, again, it's going to just be a badass clean driver. But I like it. It looks really good. Well, you guys, that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully we can get the rear end soon coming back from the shop so we can put that on so that we can have actually rolling chassis. That would be nice. But do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell for notifications, because I see a lot of you guys watching, you're not subscribed. And you guys already know, stay wrenching.